And what's up, guys? Welcome back to Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Here with me is David. I'm Jeremy. We don't have Caleb here. He's a busy guy. He's freaking coaching kids. Good guy. Good guy. Today's our week in geek. We are covering nerd news, Star Wars, Marvel, DC. We got some characters, some mystery characters in the Fantastic Four and Doomsday separately. It's not the same character, or it could be. We don't know. We just watched the 8 minutes of Craven that they released early, and I think we enjoyed that. We got news on Supergirl, the Batman 2, the Ray movies canceled, Ahsoka's probably got one more season. All that stuff. Don't forget to follow us at Why So Sidious Pod on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We're live on YouTube right now. Got a lot of smaller video clips on YouTube, a lot of good stuff over there. Recently, we dropped our coverage of Dune episodes 1 and 2. So I think we're going to keep covering Dune. We're going to keep doing Weekend Geeks. We just dropped a comic book talk episode talking about Spider-Man comics and Batman comics with a specific twist just about his rogues, like some of his rogues' best comics. And pretty soon we have another comic talk episode coming out with Illuminerdi or Fellow Nerd, depending if you're looking them up on YouTube or TikTok, talking about our favorite DC events, our favorite Marvel events, and a bunch of stuff like that. Just a bunch of crazy comic talk there. Anyway, let's get into the news, and let's start with that Craven. It's not a trailer, but what do you want to call it? That 8 minute release of Craven. What did you think of that?
Yeah, so a little unorthodox. Most movies don't release an 8 minute opening onto YouTube a week before the movie comes out. That's not a standard thing we see. So that was interesting. Just that in general, I got to say, I don't know if it concerns me anymore or concerns me. Almost because is it like a desperation play where they're like, God, let's just try to drop something there. We know we're not going to have the interest. Or is it like them going, hey, we've got something pretty dope here, and we don't want the Sony reputation to ruin people's, urge to want to come and see this movie. So maybe release this so people will see, oh, maybe it's not going to be that bad. And it landed that way for me. I mean, I was already a little bit more hopeful than I expected to be over the last few weeks for this, but I enjoyed this opening 8 minutes. I thought it was pretty solid action. It wasn't like anything amazing, but it definitely got my interest already into the story. We saw a couple cool little shots happen in there. It was a long running kind of 5 minute action scene towards the end of it. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. What'd you think?
I liked it a lot, man. Yeah, and I'm totally with you. I don't know if this is desperation or confidence, because the director came on and said, like, "Hey, give this movie a chance. Don't worry about the bad reputation that Sony has." And I mean, even that kind of showed confidence in my eyes, like, because like this is very different. They're committing to rated R violence and all this stuff, which we see in this trailer. I really liked. Sorry, the trailer. I really liked the clip though. If it's like the whole movie's like that, I think I'd probably be my favorite Sony movie after maybe the Spider-Verse animated things, because those are really good. But you also heard about how low of a box office this is supposed to have. This is supposed to have like worse numbers than Madam Web, like the worst Sony verse movie ever as far as box office. And that's scary, and I think that's probably why they released it. I think they have a little confidence in this, and they wanted to show you they're committing to, a little bit of violence, and it's going to be rated R. So I think that kind of scene is something, we wanted out of Venom, a little more out of.
Absolutely.
Especially with someone like Carnage, we wanted a lot of that kind of violence. That should have been rated R, but yeah, I think it shows confidence, and I do think it is also desperation, because if they're like, holy crap, we're tracking for like the lowest box office ever, so let's show them that we actually have some pretty cool cooking here.
Yeah, when an article drops like that saying that you're projected to bring in like 25 million opening weekend, which is insane. That is insanely low if you're not super familiar with the box office numbers there. That's crazy. That probably puts a little panic into the execs, and they're probably like, okay, you better pull some type of move that's going to get interest back to this movie ASAP, because that was not a good look. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Venom was missing that edge to it. If it's not going to be a Venom Spider-Man story, then you might as well lean into the Venom aspect of it and stop pulling your punches. So this obviously has that. We already saw a guy get a lion's tooth jammed into his throat and killed, and it showed the entire thing, gash and all. So they're definitely going to be getting violent with this. And we saw the Red Band trailer where he's killing people with bear traps. So yeah, it definitely seems like they're going to go all out. And I don't think there's any plans or hopes for a sequel. So you might as well just, hey, make a fun movie. Let's go all out with this. Let's get some crazy memory.
Yeah, just a nice, good violent bro film. That's kind of what Venom should have been. Yeah. Yep. I agree on everything. So, did it increase your excitement? Did it stay the same?
A tiny.
And David's back.
Sorry, I got banished to the old garage here, and I guess I was slightly too far outside of the modem range there. So apologies.
Hopefully it doesn't keep happening. Freaking internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot a little closer. What was the last thing I said that got through?
Like you just started speaking and then it cut out.
Hell yeah! All right. Well, I don't even remember what I was saying now. This is going swimmingly.
Mic drop.
What was I just saying? Something about them just going all out.
Did it increase your excitement?
Yeah, a tiny bit. I think maybe a few percent higher. Like I said, I was more hopeful than I expected to be in the last few weeks, and so I can't get much more excited for it because I don't think it's going to be incredible. So, tiny bit.
Yeah, man. I my excitement's increased. I think. I don't know. Let's say it showed us the same as the trailer, so it's not like, oh my god, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I really liked his roommate. His roommate was funny. At the very end, he's like, 3 days, 3 days.
3 days. Sick.
Yeah, that was really cool. But we'll see how that goes, and let's move on to some Marvel news. So, separately, the Doomsday, there's a report of a new character from the Marvel Universe we have not seen yet that is supposed to have the fans very excited. I'm really curious what they're doing with that. I didn't even really think about it to come here with some good ideas. But separately, the Fantastic Four, they're shooting, and some bystander recorded them bringing in a cast member, hiding that cast member. So another surprise character. And like, as far as the Fantastic Four one goes, Robert Downey Jr. seems too obvious, but I guess they would try to hide him. But at the same time, it's Fantastic Four. So I don't know why they would be that. I don't know why they'd try to hide him that much. We already got news that Doom is the villain. We already got RDJ casted. So I feel like they wouldn't need to hide him. You kind of damn near expect him to be in that movie. Do you think it's him or you think it's someone else? Or who could it possibly be for Fantastic Four?
Yeah, that's the thing. Fantastic Four itself, I mean, I guess it would make sense that it's him. Like you said, Doctor Doom obviously has connections with Reed Richards there, and if they're coming from the same universe, that would explain the RDJ switch up. So I think that would make the most sense, is that it's RDJ. But outside of that, getting creative with it, I don't know, maybe... Did we get a Beast casting? I know we got Beast revealed in the Marvels post-credit scene, but did we actually get a casting of that?
We don't have a casting for any new X-Men.
All right, so that wouldn't make any sense to hide anybody, unless it was Kelsey Grammer for some reason, and Fantastic Four shares the universe as the Marvels post-credit scene there. But other than that...
well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I
don't know.
I would guess him over RDJ, but plus it's just a actor, so it would have to be someone that would scream like, "Oh, that's definitely a certain character."
Right.
Like like a Tom Holland or something.
Dude, we saw one of that rumors, like, could it be the what was it, the Boombastic Bagman, I think, which I guess I didn't even know this until yesterday when I read that. I was like, who the hell is that? That is the version of Spider-Man who ends up going to the Fantastic Four and has to wear a paper bag over his head because he doesn't have a mask, and so he's wearing a Fantastic Four uniform with a paper bag over his head. So that would be pretty ridiculous. I would have to imagine that'd be a throwaway scene if that were the case, so I'm hoping it's not that. But I guess RDJ, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's got to be. I could still see like a Tom Holland. You know, they could very well have their own Spider-Man in
Yeah.
that universe. Yeah,
Yeah, they
I don't
could.
know. I don't know who else. I'm trying to think who would be tied to Fantastic Four as far as casting that we're familiar with in the previous movies. But I got nothing, so I'll go with Tom Holland, and I think Kelsey Grammer could be it too.
What if I don't want to get too crazy about it, but it's the 60s in this universe. What if it was like a hero that was kind of around? What if
Namor.
Captain America was around during this, or Namor? I was thinking of the old school World War II
Yeah,
heroes. Like maybe in this universe, Cap doesn't go into the ice, or it is Namor. Maybe Namor's around during this. Um,
yeah, for sure.
but
It could be a
old
Cap.
comic origin deal. Yeah, I don't know.
Namor's really close to the Fantastic Four. Like he has a love thing going on with Sue
Yeah,
Storm. So that could very well be
that would be
it.
wild.
Yeah, that'd be sick. But you know, they could do anything with this separate universe. I'm excited.
Yeah.
As far as a big spectacle Avenger movie, multiversal crazy, who do you think could be a character we haven't seen yet that could show up?
So that we haven't seen at all in the MCU, and
Yeah.
it's rumored that they'll appear in Doomsday. Who? Well, it better not be Doctor Doom. I'll
Yeah,
say
right,
that
right,
much.
right, right.
I don't know why Ghost Rider just came to mind.
I was thinking Ghost Rider too. Yeah.
I don't know why though. I can't explain the reason to that, but that was the first name that came to mind for me right now.
That would be sick to introduce Ghost Rider in Avengers. We got introduced to Vision in Avengers. Shit, we got introduced to a lot of people in Avenger movies,
True.
Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. There's probably some more, but yeah, Ghost Rider could very well be introduced. That'd be one hell of a way to bring a character like that on board. I could see Nova. Maybe it's
Yes.
Nova. That could be a
would be
big one.
sweet.
I'm still waiting for like a flashback scene from Thanos taking that stone from Xandar because we never saw that. He just started Infinity War with that stone, and destroying Xandar comes with a lot of potential lore. That's how Nova got his full powers, is because Xandar was destroyed. So Xandar has already been destroyed and we didn't see it, and Nova's still not around. So
Yeah.
could definitely see Nova.
That'd be dope. Dude, if it's Nova or Ghost Rider, I am totally good with it.
Right? Those are two solid. That'd be fun. Miles Morales, even. Maybe, you never know. Probably
Yeah.
not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that wraps it up for Marvel. And if that's the case, let's move on to Star Wars. Just a couple things for Star Wars. Rey movie canceled. Not a big surprise. any thoughts?
No, I somebody owes me money on that one. I think I said I'm absolutely positive it will not keep that date because we had the debacle where it was the Mando movie date and then the Avengers date and the Star Wars date, and we're like, well, we can't have them all in the same time. And I know for a fact is that I guarantee you the Rey movie will be delayed at least once, if not canceled. And I don't know that it's 100% like gone, but it's removed from their schedule. They totally removed it. So they haven't made the announcement that it's canceled, but it has been removed from all foreseeable planning. So yeah, it's not that surprising. I imagine we're just going to keep getting this mess of a Star Wars news coming out here.
At this point, I'd be surprised if they make a movie. If a movie actually comes out, that's going to be the big surprise. That's going to be the big news. Star Wars actually followed through. An announced movie actually came out.
Until we get 2 movies within like 3 years, I'm not going to start believing reports until these things actually, a trailer drops and we're like a month away from it releasing. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I guess I wonder if they merged it with the trilogy that Simon Kinberg's supposed to be making. That's the
Right.
next like mythical movie that might come out. But you know, they might have merged the two. We heard Rey was supposed to play a role in that as the kind of the Obi-Wan type of character.
I
But
mean,
at this
it makes
point-
sense. You don't do a Rey movie and do a 10 through 12 trilogy
Seems
too. If
weird,
you're gonna do a
right?
10 through 12, just do the Rey movie in that. That seems redundant at that point. So yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know.
100%. Yeah, that sounds about right. And the other thing with Star Wars is Ahsoka. Sounds like Ahsoka is going to wrap up her whole character as far as the Star Wars universe goes in season 2. So we're not going to see, if this is true, we're not going to see her after season 2. And hopefully it'll give us a nice bow tie ending. I know that's not the right figure of speech, but yeah, I hope they wrap it up
Yeah.
nice. I hope it's nice and conclusive, and send her out. She had a pretty good run in Star Wars. You know, a lot of people don't like Ahsoka. I'm realizing that more and more that people didn't like Ahsoka season one. You know, I think all of us did. We enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best thing in the world, but it is. I thought it was very good, especially compared to Star Wars lately.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, she doesn't really have, I wouldn't see her having a very long term role, so I don't think that's also very surprising. But what do you think?
Yeah. And I love Ahsoka. Loved her in Clone Wars and Rebels. She became one of my favorites very quickly, and I didn't really think that was going to be the case. I didn't like her book, even though I did read it and tried to get into it. I didn't enjoy it, but she's one of my favorite characters, and I loved season one. I did. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, like you said. It had a lot of issues, but I just really enjoyed it. But with that being said, I don't really like. Yeah, I don't need to see her continued into movies and like keep pushing Rosario Dawson with this. I'm kind of okay and at peace with it ending with season two, depending what they do, and depending on the release date differences between the Mando movie and the whole Dave Filoni movie that's going to tie up all of his Disneyverse stuff going on there. So I'm curious, is she going to get a part in that first and then have Ahsoka season two, or is Ahsoka season two going to happen and then she's not even going to be involved in any of those movies? So I'm curious about that when I hear that news.
That is a very interesting thought, yeah. I'd almost hope for her to be in the Mandoverse. She's like one of the big parts of the Mandoverse. Well, kind of. It's not like we've seen her in anything, but Ahsoka. Wait, no, yeah, we did. We saw her in Boba. No, yeah, she was introduced in
Mando.
freaking Mando season two,
Yeah,
which was awesome. You gotta have her, and she was like looking for Thrawn. I really hope she is in that movie.
Yeah.
Because Mandalorian
And she
and
was in
Grogu.
Boba.
Yeah, because there's supposed to be the Mando Grogu, and then there's supposed to be the climactic movie. I would kind of hope for her character to have a nice send off in that movie, just for the climactic side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it just says filming starts in April of 2025.
Oh, it's definitely
Maybe summer 2026 is when they're expecting the season.
she's got to be in the Thrawn movie. She was like she named dropped Thrawn in Mando season two. She like Thrawn was a big part of Ahsoka season one, so I'm sure he'll be a part of season two, and then that'll all lead into that. So that, yeah, again, not very surprising. That seems like the right movie time frame to write her out, and yeah, she had a good run. My favorite was that end of the Clone Wars tie over with Revenge of the Sith. That's like my favorite Ahsoka right there. So sick,
Dude, that 4-episode arc was just a thing of beauty.
legendary. And whoopsies, I did forget a Marvel story. We have another little thing called potentially Hulk vs. Wolverine. A rumor that people are actually taking seriously. Like some little podcasts I watch, some nerd shows, they're actually reporting on it, and that tells me it might actually carry some weight. Usually I don't watch a ton of things that just cover all the rumors that are coming out. For some reason, I don't really see it happening, but holy cow, that'd be extremely exciting. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that I don't even know. I mean, I imagine that means Hugh Jackman would take on the role. Obviously, we got a tiny teaser there in Deadpool 3 with the hint at Wolverine fighting Hulk in the brown and tan suit. But that would be interesting. I don't know how they would bring that to be. It feels like that would feel like an almost Elseworlds type situation.
Yeah.
I don't know how you tie that into the main MCU storyline, but
Yeah, me neither. Like at all. Because, I mean, Hugh Jackman continuously says he's not coming back. Like, Deadpool 3, that's for sure his send off. Logan, before Deadpool 3, that's for sure his send off. Before Logan, I'm pretty sure he said he was done there too. And if anything, I expect to see him in Secret Wars. That's why I just don't see this happening. Unless it's like a super early plan that we're going to see, like, after Secret Wars with a new Hulk, new Wolverine. But it sounds, I mean, that just sounds awesome. It seems like that'd be violent. I mean, that's going to be, Hulk can take a lot of blades. So it's not like he's going to be getting cut and slashed and stabbed throughout that whole damn movie. You could almost say it could be rated R, but Hulk's blood, I don't think if his blood is not red, maybe it's green, that you can get away with PG-13, but a lot of Hulk blood. But it seems like that'd be a vicious movie.
it would, dude. I mean, think of the fight we had with Deadpool and Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. where he rips him in half and he's doing all this gnarly stuff. I don't think you can have that type of slug 'em fight and have it be like a PG-13 type of MCU movie. I will say, though, Hugh Jackman did go on record a lot, even as recent as like 2020, talking about how he would love to do a Hulk versus Wolverine movie if they were able to figure it out, and was talking about like why he thinks Hulk would win or why he thinks Wolverine would win and all this stuff. So it sounded like he had some interest,
Hugh.
but I don't know. I guess I can't envision the things that would need to happen to make that work out, but.
Yeah, especially like the story. What the hell kind of story would they play on this?
Maybe that could be a battle world type deal, I guess.
Good point. That's a great point.
That would be the only maybe thing that would make sense to kind of force that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Or Hulk has his own Logan movie in a dystopian future, and Wolverine's one of the only dudes around, and Doctor Doom brainwashes them, and they have to fight. You know what I mean? It can get pretty weird.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm not giving it too much. I don't really think that it's going to happen. But if they come out and they say it's happening, that's one of the most exciting movies I could think of to make. And my God, there's another Marvel story that I forgot about. So missed on two.
God,
we forgot about Denzel
you need to get
Washington.
banished to the garage.
Hosting is just the worst.
Oh yeah.
Denzel Washington is like in Black Panther 3, and this dude said it in an interview. He was like, yeah, I'm almost done with my career. I know I'm doing this and that, and then Ryan Coogler's got me in Black Panther 3. Like, I think that was an accident, to be honest. I don't think that was supposed to be released, but Denzel's just like old and chilling, and he was like from the 90s when people didn't really worry about secrets in movies and social media, so he just let it rip. To start off, I have no idea who he could play. I really don't, but it's solid. That's a solid actor to throw in there.
Yeah, I would love to see a type of villain role, or you know what? I would. I always like to see Denzel play a villain role because he always plays an interesting villain. The few times he has done it, where he's kind of got that dark side to him, he's really good at playing that. And again, it wasn't exactly a villain role, but obviously in Training Day, an American Gangster, he has a dark side character, and he's very intimidating. So that would be cool, but I would also, I don't know how you do it. They haven't mentioned T'Challa having a brother or an uncle. Well, he did have an uncle. His dad killed him, but a different uncle. I was thinking type of uncle role model for Shuri or something like that. As she's coming up, and he's kind of helping her out as she's coming into this role of the Black Panther. But there's some rumors out there. I don't know that they're very good.
Oh, do they got? Are you looking at it? Is there a villain named like Akibe? Achebe?
There's a lot of African names. Yes, Akibe is at the very bottom. There you go. I don't know who that is. I'm probably not going to know a lot of these characters. They all are seemingly comic book characters. T2. Yeah. I don't know who that is. Student of Changamir. Changamir is another possible one. I don't know who that is. Dr. Voodoo. Now, I do know that. Wait. Isn't that Brother Voodoo?
Wasn't he in the Hickman Avenger stuff? Am I thinking of the
Yeah,
same
well,
guy?
he's a part of the Midnight Suns, too, at points. He messes around with Doctor Strange, Brother Voodoo. Okay, Brother Voodoo and Dr. Voodoo, the same character. So that would be kind of interesting.
That'd be really interesting. And Akibe is the only one I'm really familiar with, and he's like not super powered, which I think would be better for Denzel. And he's more like trying to bring Wakanda down from the inside through like political upheaval and revealing secrets or like causing civil war, like stuff like that from within, like what's his name did in Civil War, Baron Zemo, kind of like a character like that, from what I remember. And I could see him doing that, just a smart dude causing chaos politically, socially.
I think that'd be a good way to go.
Yeah.
I don't need him showing superpowers here.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Alumo Bashanga. I don't know who that is either. So super helpful on my part, but apparently he's a more prominent figure in the Black Panther lore.
I will say missing out with the Chadwick Boseman star power. Black Panther 2 that was a big void. And so throwing in some star power like Denzel in there is a good move.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope he has a big role. I hope he plays a big role because first comic book thing for him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, guess so.
Hopes he does it strong. Okay, and that really is it for Marvel. And we only have a couple more stories. We got some stuff on the Batman 2 and then something on Supergirl. Yes, something on Supergirl. So let's start with the Batman 2. What's going on with some details we've heard lately?
Yes, and sorry, I just got a warning thing that popped up, so I was hoping my internet wasn't about to go down. Forgive me if it does. But yeah, Supergirl, man. So we got some news coming out of there. James Gunn confirmed it through social media comments, per usual. He says, yes, that is correct. Rob Hardy will be the cinematographer for Supergirl World of Tomorrow. And this is exciting to me. This man's past projects include things such as Annihilation, Ex Machina, and Civil War. All of these had a very eerie and almost uncomfortable feel to them, the way they were shot. So I'm really curious to see how he kind of sets that tone for this new Supergirl movie. Another thing in those movies, they were all had pretty strong female leads in them that tend to add, they had a strong presence. So it seems like a perfect fit. You had Kirsten Dunst in Civil War, Alicia Vikander in Ex Machina, Natalie Portman in Annihilation. If you haven't seen those movies, well, Civil War is all right, but Annihilation and Ex Machina are on another level than Civil War. They're very good. Annihilation is trippy.
Yeah.
And if that's not enough, he was also the cinematographer on the best Mission Impossible movie, in my opinion, which was Mission Impossible 6 Fallout, which coincidentally had Henry Cavill in it too, Superman. So connections, look at it. It's all connected. But so that fills that concern of action concerns as far as Supergirl goes, because Fallout had some of the best actions in the franchise. And again, those other three movies were all pretty beautiful, eerie, very unique tones to them. So I'm really excited with this news. I'm much more excited about the movie now hearing this.
Dude, I loved Ex Machina. I got to watch Annihilation. I just actually I screenshotted my wife, and maybe we'll watch that tonight. But Ex Machina, solid. I forgot there was a big moral philosophy, some dilemma. Is that guy like evil, right? Is he actually creating these sentient machines, and is it evil what he's doing, or do they truly not feel? They could act like they feel, or is that more their programming to be accurate humans? Do they feel or do they not feel? Like, is that guy evil? I loved the balancing the perspective on what the hell this dude is.
Yeah, it was cool to see Poe Dameron and Hux go at it again. So
Yeah,
that was an early. I think that was one of the first movies I saw Oscar Isaac in. And Domhnall Gleeson was in it, but I'd seen him in a lot of stuff. Harry Potter, he's been in a ton of stuff. But it was a really trippy movie, really good,
really good.
So yeah, I think that's great news for this Supergirl movie. So I'm very interested in it.
Yeah, me too. I'm already super hyped. I love that comic. I love that Tom King, the writer of that comic, is heavily involved. I love that James Gunn's ultimately in charge of the whole thing. I love the revenge-fueled sci-fi adventure through the cosmos, meeting a ton of different weird species as they're looking for this guy to kill. It's a really cool story. So throw a cinematographer on that. That's pretty dope. And it's one of the earlier DCU movies that's coming out. I think that's coming out after Superman. So maybe 2020, early 27, late 25, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think late 25 is when. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
And we got Creatures Commandos coming out this week, so stay tuned. We'll probably cover that on our Week in Geeks. Hopefully, having those coming out each week, along with a little review on each episode of Creatures Commandos. I wonder if that comes out fully or episode by episode.
I believe it's. I want to say it's fully, but maybe I'm just thinking that because animated series often do that.
No.
But what are you excited for this show? What are you feeling for this thing?
I'm excited just because it's the first DCU project. So I'm just so
Okay.
over the heels excited for this universe to start. As you know, I don't love animation, but I love James Gunn. I love his Suicide Squad. I love the crew they're working with here. And we have like David Harbour as Frankenstein, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., and Rick Flag's character is going to play a big role in Superman. Amanda Waller is going to be playing a big role in all the DCU. She's in Creatures Commandos. So there's a lot that gets me excited about this. And it does come out 1 week at a time. The first two come out
Yeah,
this week, and then it's weekly after that. 7 episodes total.
straight up. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of expectations for it, but I'm gonna, like you said, it's the first project to start this new universe, and I actually have more of a pass with enjoying animated shows, I guess, than you do for the most part. So you would think it would be up my alley. And I do tend to love James Gunn's humor. You know, the other stuff he's done, I always tend to like his style of things. So I would imagine I'm gonna watch and enjoy it. I don't know how much comedy wise it's gonna go. Like the Harley Quinn animated series. I watched the first season of that on Max, and I actually liked it. I didn't expect to. I just threw it on because I don't remember why. I just tossed it on and ended up liking
Phelps,
it and watched the whole
our buddy,
season.
our buddy Tanner said it was super good. That's why I've
Oh, did
almost
he?
considered watching it. Yeah, I figured that
Oh.
might have been why you watched it. Because I was like, I didn't even know you were like a
Tanner.
big comic book guy. But he's like, he really liked it.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it because I didn't even know he watched it. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Clayface again. All the characters you have to go in knowing that it's not like at first when I first started watching, I was kind of annoyed at how they were portraying Jim Gordon and like serious characters like that because they portray them as just idiots. They're
Goofballs.
clowns. They're just morons. Jim Gordon is just his wife is cheating on him constantly. He's just a wreck at work all the time. Like he's just so you have to go and understanding that's how this type of show is going to be, but it's entertaining. It's funny. There were genuine times where I was laughing insanely hard. So it's so anyway, to get back to Creature Commando, I'm going to give it a try, and I wouldn't be surprised if I enjoy it.
For sure. Yeah. It's going to be super gory and like super over the top rated R apparently. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh.
I could balance the animation side
Invincible?
of things for me. Yeah, like Invincible. Like characters like Frankenstein. Apparently, he's just a dumb toddler that throws fits like toddlers, which can be funny if he's that strong. So you could just see this
Just
dude.
ripping people apart.
Yeah, over some maybe they stole his cake or something. And
Well, I'm sold now.
and David Harbour's voicing that dude, and he's gonna go over to live
Nice.
action. I like that all the actors are gonna cross over to live action and be that character in live action. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I will say though, last thing, as far as the whole DCU slate goes, when he first announced everything, this was definitely my least exciting project out of
Right.
everything that was announced. But there's just so much exciting stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And then kind of leading into the Batman 2 details, which I don't know about what you're about to say about that, but Clayface and Creatures Commandos. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking that's ridiculous. Batman 2 is not connected. Never mind. Scratch it.
You're so ridiculous.
But what's going on
Yeah.
with Batman 2?
Super small thing. I just saw it and thought any bit of information about Batman leading into this is interesting to me. But Matt Reeves had a quote where he essentially said, Batman takes the blame for everything that happened in the first Batman. So the city being flooded, everything, he takes it personal because he didn't catch it. You know, he didn't figure out the riddle. And it's true. He got there and the Riddler was like, oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. And the city gets flooded. So apparently he's coming into this new movie taking all the blame for that, and he's finding it very hard to beat Batman. So on one hand, that interests me. On the other hand, I am so weary of the second movie of a trilogy being the one where the hero does not have his powers or doesn't wear his suit or is not being the hero for 80% of the movie while he's dealing with an alternative conflict. We don't need it. We
Yeah.
don't need it. So I'm not saying that's what that means. Part of me is excited about that, but part of me has that worry in the back of my mind. Like, I swear to God, we better not have him wrestling mentally with if he should be Batman for 3/4 of the movie.
Yeah, I totally
That's
agree.
what I'm saying.
Especially if it's another 3-hour Batman movie. That all sounded really exciting for the redemption side of things and the motivation side of things for him until you said now he's questioning himself as Batman. Then I'm like, ooh, know, not another Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is lovely. I love
Right.
Spider-Man 2, but I really don't want that to happen where, like you said, just part of him not
Right.
being Batman. No one really wants that. We don't need an hour of introspection and considering roles and then, one suit up at the end. But
Right.
yeah, but that also could be super cool. Like he could take his role very seriously. He could
Yes.
become very motivated, up his game, up his tech. I hope we do see a lot of evolution in his technology and his tactics because it was a very rudimentary Batman in the Batman one. So I hope we get a lot of upgrade there. Like even his Batcave seems like it was just thrown together, and it didn't have that epic, almost mythological feel to the Batman character like we've seen in all the other movies.
Right. It was a bit rudimentary for the billionaire figure he's supposed to be. And yeah, I'm glad you said that. I don't want that to be a negative thing that I was bringing about the movie, because what's funny is I didn't even think about that aspect until we started talking about this right now. My first thought was, okay, we might get a pissed off, vengeful Batman to start, even though that's kind of where he was in the first movie. And the end kind of signified him finding the hope and, okay, I can connect and help these people. Instead of vengeance, I'll be the protector. So I'm more just very interested, but I trust Matt Reeves 100% with this Batman story. So I'm not concerned about it. But yeah, I do hope we don't get that.
What would be really cool is if Gotham picks him up and gives him more hope because now they have hope in him. He considers like quitting or whatever at maybe the very beginning, but then he's seeing like a bunch of support throughout all the civilians in the city. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to get back at it. I'm going to get back at it.
Yeah. Let's do it, Batman.
I want to see more fights like the Batman one opened up with in the subway station. I want to see a couple fights on that level because that was the coolest fight of the movie. And, it was kind of the first time I watched it, I thought we'd get a couple scenes like that. There was a couple other good action scenes. There was like, the choreographer was the same one in Rogue One. So that one kind of hallway scene, the use of lights with the gunshots as Batman's walking closer and closer.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick, but not the same way he just whooped that dude's ass at the subway station. That was so savage.
Oh, it was just gnarly. And apparently I heard something about like that second or third punch in a row wasn't even in that wasn't Robert Pattinson's order. He just let out a couple of rageful punches at the end and they kept it in the film. I was like, okay, there you go, Robert. Throwing in a little bit extra there, but
that's actually funny because I always thought like that would have been the difference of like brain damage and just a basic
right.
injury. It's like after the last two, I was like, good God,
he was already out, and then he just just a couple more times.
Yeah, people online are like, no, he killed that guy. Like, there's no way he survived that.
It's possible.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for this week's Week in Geek, after David's point, of course.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, while we're in the DC thing, real quick, we don't have to go on this at all, but there was two things I was going to throw out there. Superman and Lois is officially over, and I didn't even know the final season was out, so I got to go watch that now. But apparently the final episode just dropped. It's officially done. So I got to go check that out because I did enjoy the first 3 seasons to a decent amount.
People are kind of raving about it too. This last season,
yeah,
I haven't really looked at the posts, but I see a lot of stuff like, "Oh my God, this episode of Superman and Lois," and clips of him fighting Doomsday that actually look pretty good.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, the season ended on a cliffhanger. Again, the score was pretty goofy. It was like 90s butt rock, but the visual looked pretty dope. But I kept seeing clips online, and I was like, I don't remember these scenes. But yeah, sure enough. Oh, that's because there's a whole new season that dropped. So we got that going for the DC thing. And then there was one more DC thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, well, 2, we didn't really talk about Peacemaker, right?
Wrapping filming? Or the
being made canon. Did we? Have we talked about that?
I thought we did, but did we not?
Okay.
Maybe we didn't.
I don't know. If we did out there, sorry. If we didn't, yeah, Peacemaker season 1's canon. So I just thought that's awesome because I kind of had an issue with that. I don't really understand how you're going to have season 1 just not be canon anymore.
Yeah, and it doesn't really mess with anything at all. Of course, he also said the scene with the Justice League, obviously, he also said they're going to address it, but that scene is not canon, but the rest of it is, and that makes sense. It wouldn't mess with anything. one of my only questions is Rick Flag Sr. is supposed to have a very vengeful path towards Peacemaker because of Peacemaker killing Rick Flag, but that was in the Suicide Squad movie. So
Right.
now are we going to
Which is no longer canon.
Yeah, are we going to go with that scene as canon too?
Yeah, I'm sure it's kind of like the Flash multiverse. Some aspects that have happened are the same in a different universe kind of deal. So maybe in this new DC universe, that still happened briefly at that point. You know, Peacemaker still did kill Rick Flag. It's just maybe, I don't know. That's one way of trying to headcanon it. But, but this all kind of fits into the last thing I was going to say. And it was just a quote I saw here from James Gunn. We're already talking about DC. So he's talking about the DCU. And he says, we're creating a universe that is like Star Wars, where there are different times, different places, different things. And like Game of Thrones, where characters are a little bit more morally complex. So he's saying that it's going to be more like the Star Wars universe and less like the MCU. So it's not just one continuous timeline. It's not all the good guys and their plots and stuff. It's more morally complex. It's covering different time periods, all this stuff. And I just think that as a whole, it goes back to the conversation we had last episode where Andy was saying he didn't think the DCU would be able to replicate the success of the MCU. And I think this is how you do it. I think you take that different path and you do it, and you paint a whole different formula for it. And just reading that quote right there just kind of triggered a little bit more hope for me for the DCU. I just love the sound of that.
Yeah, no, I like the sound of it too, and of course there will be a ton of movies that are somewhat linear because like Lantern is building up to the overall threat. But yeah, you know, like he said, we talked about it last time, just focusing on story, not being perfectly chronological, not being like perfectly. But he also said it is going to feel connected, like the way the comics do. When you read a Superman issue, you have Batman or Robin, even like anybody could show up. When you read a fucking Green Arrow comic, anybody could show up. So it all feels interconnected. But they, at the same time, they have their own title, their own run, their own story. And I really like that too. If you're not going to go perfectly chronological like Marvel, and you could still pull off feeling interconnected. And I love the moral complexities of the characters. I really love that. You know, it's easier to grasp in the real world if it's not just pure hero, pure good against pure villain, pure evil. So but you know, I'm already super stoked. He could say like, yeah, this movie's going to be about toilet paper at Bob's gas station, and I'm going to be like, let's go, James Gunn.
This could be good. This could be good.
He probably has a story there. I could see it. Yeah.
That's all I had. Sorry.
For sure.
Throw that out.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in to Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Our socials again are at Why So Sidious Pod, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. We have a link in the description of our podcast to support the show. We have a link for our merch store, so check out some of that stuff. Really cool clothes. I kind of want to branch out and make some goofier nerd shirts. I was thinking of one because Dunder Mifflin it's copyright, but what if we did Munder Fifflin, and then you could say all your muffler and mitten needs, because Jim kind of had the thing, like we sell mittens.
Wait, it's a muffler and muffins?
Both of those are cooler than paper. Yeah, you know, so to get some more mass appeal on those shirts for fun and for money. You know, we have ulterior motives here. You know, and so yeah,
we would like your money.
Give us all your money.
Send me money now. Money, please.
So I think next we'll be probably dropping Dune 2 and 3 reviews, or another Week in Geek. We'll see. Maybe that comic talk. It's super long episode, so that might take a while to get out there. But yeah, stay tuned for Why So Sidious. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I'm so glad your computer hung in there.
Oh my God, I know that was not a good start. I just put it on a bar stool and scooted it 4 feet closer to the kitchen door, and that did it. I was just out of range.
We had 3 viewers, but they averaged 10 minutes each. That's kind of cool.
Take it.
It's kind of cool. All right, man. Yeah. What are we doing next? Are you guys doing 3 and 4 or 3?
Yeah, we'll probably.